Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
All right. We got a little reaction here from Jody's Corner talking about Zack Snyder, who was on Joe Rogan's podcast. Now, Jody has a very, let's say, rocky relationship with not with him personally, but I guess with the idea of Zack Snyder. And, yeah, let's hear this, because I think Zack's going to say some shit that, for me, is just, a sin against humanity. But, we'll see. Here we go.
So Joe Rogan podcast had an interview with Zack Snyder. And he talked about the backlash that he got from comic book fans. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
The Joe Rogan experience.
But it's interesting to see when
Rogan's trash, by the way.
there's such a strong reaction to certain things. And especially amongst really wild, hardcore.
It's not
fans.
rational.
'Cause there's hardcore
Shut up.
fans, particularly,
I know.
Yeah, you also face it because you cover these genres. You cover these subjects that are iconic. Superman, Batman. I mean, just those alone.
No. And by the way, that's a lifestyle choice for a lot of people. It's not a movie.
Right.
It's not a movie. It's not like if I made a romantic comedy, you'd be like, okay, that was fun.
Right.
The people who love, and by the way, I love that they feel this passionately. I'm not, in no way would I criticize that, because I feel I live the same life, right? Because for me, it's morning, noon, and night.
Bless you.
But so for those guys, it's not just a
Recording.
movie. And so you have to, on some level, you have to acknowledge that this is their religion, and they feel strongly about it. And by the way, the truth is,
Now, here's the thing. You could say that, but you also put out a shitty product. Zack, you need to admit it. You put out a shitty product. So even if people are, I guess, overly religious about Batman or Superman or something like that, and they're like, you fucked our characters up. There are those types, 100%. But for moviegoers, you put out a shitty product. So it wasn't just the religious Batman worshippers or Superman worshippers.
Well, you could say,
like myself,
you could also say that Nolan didn't make a traditional Batman by the book Batman, but it was an awesome story.
Yes.
So that's almost like just to show you it can be done. So
yes,
when you're getting on, you can't use the example that nothing will please these people. You can't make any diversion, or they'll bitch about it.
Yes, I heard the idea that people saw the Dark Knight trilogy, and even though they were like, "This isn't comic book Batman. This isn't the Batman I like," but the movies are good. They couldn't deny that. Zack has a problem on multiple levels, where it's like, this isn't the Batman I love, and it also sucks. So doubles down on how you kind of get swamped by that thing. So yeah, he cannot attribute everything, all the criticism of the movie, to religious Superman and Batman fans. It's sorry, can't do that. But let's let him finish, because maybe there's more context to it.
This is their religion, and they feel strongly about it. And by the way, the truth is, it's my religion too, so I tend to get in trouble because of I do take a deconstructivist point of view because of Dark Knight Returns, because of Watchmen. If you've read those two comics, it's hard to go back.
I have not.
You want to, and it's because I care that I want to take them apart. I want Batman.
It's hard to go back to the canon shit. He named 2 graphic novels that are great. Not canon, one-off stories, right? And he says it's hard to go back to the real shit. That's what he's saying, guys.
People are always like, well,
Now, Jody's corner, like, he wants the traditional characters to be portrayed in these movies. I personally say fuck that. Give me your vision of it. If it sucks, it sucks. If I like it, I like once again, the same thing we just said. The Nolan trilogy, I liked that. That's my personal Batman. Even though I loved the character as a kid, that thing put it in such parameters and definitions that I'm like, that for me is the definitive Batman. I'm saying Jody's Corner does not feel that way. Even though, well, it might, maybe they do feel that way about that movie, but I'm saying, like, the way they look at it is they want this sense of tradition and canon. I'm okay with the Dark Superman if it's good, but guess what? It wasn't that good. Even though, Man of Steel was not the worst movie ever. Thank you, Nolan, for maybe saving that. But if it's a Dark Superman, I'm not gonna be so upset about it. Just give me a good version of that, and I'll accept it. I'll be like, okay, this is the best rendition of this character I have personally seen. That's it. I think Jody wants a little bit more of the sunshiny, hopey guy, which I'm like, I'm cool with that too. If that was Zack's vision and he did that and he made it good, I'd be cheering it on. I'm like, this is awesome. There's nothing you can say about this. You're an idiot if you think otherwise. That's what I would be saying, but we didn't really get excellence in one direction or the other. But here we go.
And he says it's hard to go back to the real shit. That's what he's saying, guys.
people are always like, well,
It's
Batman,
okay for it to not be canon, basically.
Batman can't
Jesus.
kill, right? So Batman can't kill is canon. And I'm like, okay, well, the first thing I want to do when you say that is I want to
What's
see what
so funny
happens.
about that? I
And
don't
they
get
go like, well, don't put him in a situation where he has to kill someone. I'm like, well, that's just like you're protecting your God in a weird way, right? You're making your God irrelevant if he can't be in that situation. He has
That's not the worst point ever from Zack Snyder. Now, granted, the idea of fans don't want Batman to kill. Now, personally, for me, I don't want my hero to be that thing. I don't want the hero of the story to be that thing. To where, how does he deal with enemies? Well, he just puts a bullet in their fucking head. It kind of takes away from it. Like, you don't seem special anymore when you do shit like that. I think Jody's going to bring it up in regards to Batman. I'm saying that about heroes in general. If it's just straight up like, oh, I just fucking murder them. That's how I get rid of, like, ideas I don't like. Instead of dealing with them like ideas, I'm dealing with them like it's actual people in the real world. Where you don't want someone saying something, you just take them out. You kill them. That kind of lacks the mystique of someone important, doesn't it? It kind of just makes you more of like a historical figure that had a duel with John on the fucking front lawn of England's whatever the fuck. Hopefully that made sense. It looks more of a battle of pride than a battle of super person. And then with Batman, in the context of Batman, his whole world, it's like that is his superpower. Is his fucking his morality, his integrity, his fucking discipline. All these things are a part of his superpower. Right? He can't fly. Right? It's like, for people saying that Batman and tech is his superpower, I think you're listening to dog shit stories. Like that's a boring version of Batman. Just like Zack Snyder says, I think in this interview with Rogan, where he's like, hey, we made a funny line in Justice League, where Flash asks him like, hey, what's your superpower? And he's like, I'm rich. Like, sure, that's cheeky and cute and clever, I guess, kinda, but it takes away from in my opinion, like that thing that reaches out to the audience. In my opinion. But all right, we'll let it run. I can rant on this. Here we go.
where he has to kill someone. I'm like, well, That's just like you're protecting your God in a weird way, right? You're making your God irrelevant if he can't be in that situation. He has to now deal
It's
with
partially
that.
true, man.
You hear this?
That's partially true, which is why in Nolan's fucking Dark Knight, why the Joker is testing him on killing. That's why that's happening. You are putting him in that scenario. 100%. So, yeah. First thing I hear, I want to challenge that. Like, well, it was challenged. As Joker's doing all this fucking crazy shit, he's testing Batman. Like, hey, and even at the end of the movie when Joker gets caught, right? Where he's like, no matter what, you'll do this for some self-righteous reason. You won't fucking kill me, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of the narrative, is that he is being tested and he refuses to do that thing. So it's been done already, but sorry for pausing. Here we go.
It went right over his head.
Apparently.
You hear this?
This is bullshit. No form, no shape, no
He-
nothing.
Oh my God.
E-Man, I can't speak
This
for
is
E-Man.
What type of God is he if he can't?
This
can't
is
do it.
worse.
Wow.
Did
Punisher.
Did him and touching my TD go to the same like class of how they approach
Punisher.
shit?
They went to the same cult.
Hey, bro,
That's
like,
for
bro,
damn sure.
what is this?
He wants Batman to be
Who
the fucking
thinks like
Punisher, bro.
this?
He wants Batman to be the fucking Punisher. What the fuck?
What would be the difference between Batman and the Punisher when Batman slaughters people like that?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Having that moral code is what makes Batman,
Batman
awesome.
Facts. No matter
Having
what
that
situation
is
that
what
he in.
makes
It's
him
part of.
insane. I cannot pass my. I don't want to explain this.
To see the lengths he would
Blows
go
my
to
mind if
to
you're a
protect
Batman
that
fan,
thing
you know. Look at
is
Dark
the
Knight.
Batman
The
character.
Dark Knight was spectacular because of Heath Ledger, and Christian Bale. Batman and the Joker, immovable object, unstoppable force, doing this.
Pause.
You're made to do this forever. You won't break your rule. You won't go past, and I'm gonna make you go past. That is what makes it interesting. And this guy, this hack, is exposing himself for not having a freaking clue
Zack Snyder,
about
okay.
who Batman really is. He just said, "Oh, when you say you can't do something, when a character has rules, I want to break those rules." Well, then there it is. That's why he's garbage, bro, and that's why he ruined the DCEU for 8 years.
What does it tell you? But does he stand up to it? Can he survive that? Right? As a god, as your god, can Batman survive that?
I never thought that was.
That's what. Here's the thing. Zack is explaining that he's explaining what was in the Dark Knight. The point of the Dark Knight is to be pushed to your limits and still walk out as Batman or as a righteous guy, or whatever, or as a hero. It's like Zack Snyder's like he's basically repeating that right here. That's what I think Jody's missing. But at the same time, Zack is missing that already happened. It already happened in a movie. They already pushed the limits of like. Well, Zack's gonna go to like a trolley car experiment thing, like he's doing now. Like, he has a gun to the kid's head, and the kid is like, "There's nothing you can do about it. There is no like." And then Batman be like, "Well, can I do this? No, you can't do that. I'm writing this. I'm writing the movie. There's nothing you can do." But can I do this? No, I'm writing the movie. You have to shoot him in the head. But I don't want to shoot him in the head. I want to do this. No, you can't. I'm writing the fucking movie, dude.
Well,
That's what Zack Snyder's fucking doing. Straight up.
yeah. It's kind of also he gonna sound fucked up, but he thinks he can make a better story than what came before this Batman. So he's like, oh, like Nolan did that. He thinks it's subjective, but in reality, in this scenario, the objective like greatness has already happened. You just got tapped to like keep the name going, but you'll never be this.
Now, he took the mythos of Batman and turned him into Joe Blow down the fucking street. When he talks about, he's going to talk about it, where the kid is being held by gunpoint, and Batman pulls the fucking trigger and shoots the fucking bad guy in the head. Right? Towards like oh well, he's just some now he's just some guy down the street. He's not Batman anymore. As far as this mythos of the super duper integrity, the super duper morals that they hold on to, no matter what. No matter the scenario, no matter how dark it gets, they hold on to that scenario. Zack is saying, no, there is a limit. Here it is. My Batman has a limit. He will pull the trigger and shoot that dude in the fucking face.
Unfortunately, like you're saying, basically, like you're saying, you destroyed the character.
Well,
but
no. Hold on, Ant. Because you can make that okay. You can make that okay in a script, right, or in a plot. Not saying Zack Snyder did that. I think those movies are terrible. But you can make that legitimate in a script, right? To have some guy who's willing to pull the trigger when shit goes down. You can make that. We've seen that in the movies. You can make that character. That's fine. But to say that he is the ultimate hero over this thing over here is not correct. I'm sorry.
But what I'm saying is that's the business he entered. That's the realm he entered. So
yes,
it's already been specified that you're trying to make a hero, the hero character.
Yes. Well,
go ahead.
Well, he's saying that matter of factly. He's just going with it's Batman, so thus he's a hero. So thus I can do whatever the fuck I want with Batman and make him a hero.
No, it doesn't work like that. You have to be that at all times.
This is one of those things that, like, when James says, I fucking love when he says this, where he's like, go watch the Dark Knight trilogy, but instead of Batman, make it some random dude. Make it John. Some guy named John who's doing all these actions. That's a hero character. If I all of a sudden have him in the Zack Snyder Batman vs. Superman machine gunning people, like, now it's not, like, that guy's not a hero.
No.
Could he be a good character that's interesting? Yes. Could the super moral guy be interesting? Yes.
He just can't be, as far as what Batman's been portrayed as or been.
They can't be the hero of heroes. They can't be that. It's like,
not when you're doing that.
Well, let's be honest about this. In Western culture, this Jesus guy is kind of like held to a high standard, right? It's like our heroes better reflect something like that in order to be like the hero of heroes. So, like, having him like, you're in my way, machine gun, boom. It's like, does not look so nice to people's eyes. I don't know. But, all right.
Canon that Batman can't kill. But
well, for a lot of people it is.
That seems ridiculous given the circumstances.
Well, Rogan, you're an idiot, so we don't.
And all the weapons.
Don't read the
your opinion holds no weight because your opinion holds no weight because if Jody's Corner was your next interviewer on Rogan's podcast, you'd be like, yeah, man, yeah, Jody, you're right about that. If you had Zack Snyder on, right?
Yeah.
30 minutes later, he has Jody's Corners on his fucking YouTube channel or on his podcast or whatever. He'd be like, yeah, Jody, you're so right about that. That's so crazy, man. Wow, that's crazy. It's like, dude, these two people are contradicting each other.
Yeah.
So, sorry, this is why Rogan's disqualified for me. But here we go. God damn, I love you, dude.
Well, I mean, and there's this huge so in Dark Knight Returns, there's a scene where, and I copied it kind of in Batman vs. Superman, where he grabs the M60, he busts through the wall, and he grabs the M60, and he's like, the guy's like, in the comic book, he's like got this kid, the mutant has this kid with a gun to his head, and he's like, I'll kill him, I swear I'll do it. And Batman says, I believe you. And he shoots him straight in the head because it's like a no-win scenario. It's like the Kobayashi Maru of, the Kobayashi Maru is that in Star Trek, it's that test they put Kirk through where there's a no-win, right? Because they want to see how you'll react, right? So they say, okay, we're gonna make a scenario, a test scenario where you don't win, where there's no way to win. And in that situation, we find out what you would do in a no-win situation, because if you're going to be the commander of this spaceship, you're going to be in situations where, it's life or death, and especially when there's no tricking it, right? There's no tricking death in this case. And the famous thing with Captain Kirk is he went and hacked the machine and made it so there was a solution.
Yeah.
And so that was his response to the no-win situation, was create a scenario where he wins, which is cool. Which is a cool character. You know, that's a cool character move.
Bill
But,
dead.
that's kind of how I felt. That's what they would say. Don't do that to Batman. Don't put him in a no-win situation because we don't want to see him lose. Like, we can't.
Okay. Once again, the thing he's calling it a no-win situation, right? And he's relying on our own social sensibilities of things, right? If someone's doing a bank robbery, right, and the police are on them, but they have a kid as a hostage, they put the gun to the kid's head. The only way to win this is Bruce Willis put a fucking bullet in your head while he distracts you for a second, right, and just shoots you in the fucking head and you're dead, and you magically don't shoot the kid while you're doing that, like, which is super unrealistic, right? Just by rigor mortis alone, he might pull the fucking trigger, right? But we do this. He's saying that like that's the realistic thing somehow. But these scenarios in these movies are carefully calculated by writers, directors, multiple writers, probably multiple eyes as far as in regards to directors, are looking at this scenario and writing it out. And so for you to say, put them in the impossible situation, you are determining that it's impossible. In the off rip, you're doing that. So once again, he's relying on our own social sensibilities of what is an impossible situation, something like that. But like these guys aren't. I don't think they're supposed to be the average social person. That's the thing about it. He's not supposed to be a gunslinging cop who's just like, yeah, you know what? I believe you, and pull the trigger and fucking shoot a dude in the fucking forehead. Like that doesn't. Would cops do that? They wouldn't do that because they like, fuck, I might miss. Why aren't you adding that reality in there? You might miss and hit the fucking hostage instead. Or he misses and the guy's like, fuck it. He fucking blows the kid's fucking brains out and then shoots you afterwards.
Didn't that happen in Speed? I think Keanu Reeves shot Jeff Bridges and he shot the... Oh, no, that happened in SWAT. Jeremy Renner shot a hostage trying to shoot the kidnapper. It was like a bank.
Fuck,
he was like
maybe. You did Town or you mean SWAT?
No, I mean SWAT. Yeah, the beginning of SWAT, Jeremy Renner was working for SWAT, and he had to go into like a hostage situation.
Okay. The beginning.
And he shot the hostage, yeah.
I don't remember that part as
And
well.
then he got fired.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of a typical thing. It's Wild West shit, right? Is not what he described it like Clint Eastwood, like where the damsel is under gunpoint by the fucking villain, right? And he's like, drop your gun or I fucking blow her brains out. Maybe not in that language, but you know. And he's like, fine, I'll put the gun down. As he's starting a motion to put the gun down, he pulls the fucking trigger and cocks back the fucking hammer and blows the fucking brains out of this dude. Right? And the chick's like, oh my god, I'm saved now. Is that not like a stereotype? Is that what he's asking for? Is that what Zack Snyder's asking for? Because that's not realistic either.
No.
That's not the impossible scenario that you're trying to describe. I thought the archetype of Joker was the actual impossible scenario that Zack Snyder's trying to portray here through a hostage gunfight thing, I guess. But whatever. Here we go.
Can't see him lose. He has to maintain this godlike status. And that's what the cool thing about Frank Miller. Frank Miller said, fuck it. I want to see who this guy like if a guy, so you're saying to me that I've got a gun to this kid's head, you're Batman. There's no move. There's no trick. There's no throwing the batarang. There's no a dust ball to distract me. Like
there's no shooting him in the face because that can cause a he might fire the gun instinctually and kill the kid. Like, come on.
I've just got to pull the trigger.
You can't do that either. That scenario.
There's no move. There's no batarang. This is what makes Batman Batman.
Facts.
There is no weapon that can just kill somebody because I'm Batman. You know how many times I've seen him throw a batarang?
Just hit it, bounce off something and or just hit some.
So you're basically saying strip away everything that Batman is, and then make him just a regular man with a gun. Who has a gun to your son.
He has a point.
Okay, sure. If we're gonna strip away who Batman is, okay. So if you just that's the problem with why this guy is garbage.
That's a point.
Bro.
He's not a Batman fan either. He's definitely not a Batman fan.
Well, he's not a hero creator then. Oh my God! Why did you march out here
He
like
wasn't
this?
killing anybody because of what happened to his parents, and he never wanted anyone to ever go through the same situation that he did. So he made a vow that the number one thing he would never do is kill.
So you're saying
no matter what it is.
Not in the Nolan trilogy,
Right.
but
You ain't lying about that.
whatever. Nolan trilogy was actually explained. It was actually interesting.
Someone's strength and who they are is something like this. The time where Superman, there was a girl who wanted to end her life. She wanted to unalive herself. And Superman is witnessing this woman in distress. What does Superman do? A man who has a code and morals. When is it okay to save someone or not? Does Superman have the right to save somebody from unaliving themselves? Is that the right thing to do? Or should you just let them do what they want with their life? That's a very complex thing to have to deal with.
That is the most interesting thing that was in this entire video. Is Jody bringing that up? He's Superman, right? He basically has all the power in the fucking world.
Yeah.
Is he allowed to stop someone from just committing suicide? It's their right. It's their body. It's their life. It's all of it. But does he have the right to fly in, pick them up before they jump? Like, don't do that. You can't do that. Does Superman have the right to fucking do that? That's an interesting philosophical fucking question that needs to be more in film. Not less, more in film. Instead of Bruce Willis scenarios where they fucking pull a bullet out and they shoot someone in the fucking face. That's a good point by Jody. I was taken back when I saw this, by the way. I'm like, that's fucking interesting. I didn't think he looked at movies that way. I still don't think he does. But that point to prove Zack Snyder wrong, 100% is important and worth it for me. That's a good fucking point, man. Isn't that not creative storytelling? Isn't that risky to put your characters kind of in a risky situation like that? Interesting. Zack Snyder thing is interesting too. It's just like he's saying, like, no, he just pulls the trigger and blows his fucking face off. Pause. There we go.
Life. That's a very complex thing to have to deal with, and it only makes it awesome when a character has the rules and does overcome them by abiding by the rules and finding a way. There's always a way. It's the symbol of what hope is. It's about hope.
He's right.
Batman is hopeful.
If I were making
He has
Superman,
this
I'd do it
rule.
that way.
He won't go this far.
Honestly.
I can't believe that I have to just explain that to a film director, bro. This is exactly why
Don't be that
this
surprised.
man is a freaking hack. He's hack Snyder forever. Your Rebel Moon was a flop. No one wants to see it. You saw what you did with Star
Added
Wars.
insult, bro.
You're garbage. Keon, what do you think?
Wow, how do you top that? So,
Okay. We'll leave it there. These guys make points too, but I thought that was the most interesting that Jody just made about like the character and all that shit. Yeah, man. Like, sorry, Zach, but like, as much as I was like, give him some hype because of the 300 thing that he was saying to Joe Rogan, I thought that was fucking hilarious. Thought it was funny and like, hey guys, we're like telling you a secret while we make these movies, but you guys don't fucking realize it, type of thing. Still, when we're talking about like a hero character, it's fine to make someone Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, fucking you crossed my path, I shoot you in face now, like type of character. I understand that, but when I look at them as hero characters, well, compared to who? Compared to Nolan's Dark Knight, compared to Neo in The Matrix, compared to Jesus. Like, these are the iconic, mythological, moral characters. So it's like, don't pretend you're doing something like these characters are moral when you have these things in existence. So let's stop that. But if you want to make a Batman that kills, like, go ahead. No big deal. I just won't like it as much. It'll be trash. Yeah. No, it could be good. It could be good. But not for my own personal thing, but it could still be a good movie. I won't deny that. It's just don't do that and then say like, "Hey guys, he's a hero though. Like him, he's a hero." He's not. He's something else. Like I think Jody and some of the other guys were saying like he's like the Punisher now. When he brands people, right in the Batman vs Superman, bro, where he's branding people and sending them to jail, and letting them get fucking ass raped and fucking killed in jail. Like, yeah, that guy that knows that he's doing that. Sorry, he's not a hero. But his best friend got killed. So, okay, you use your pain as a reason to like take it out on others, bro. You're not a hero then. You're just some guy who has what Zack Snyder called the superpower. Like, why are you a superhero? I have money. I'm rich. That's it. It's not about the character. It's not about the person at all. It's that they're rich and they have the availability of technology things or technological things that get them by. Okay. Is that a superhero? Fuck no. Normally be a fucking villain. But, you know, it is what it is. And I get it. You're a weirdo, Zack Snyder, as you self-proclaimed. But, sorry, man. That's not a hero character to me. What you're describing. And Rogan gives 0 fucks. And this guy gives 0 fucking fuck. As much as people are gonna praise him for being here or there in any situation, he's to me a bullshitter. But you know, that's me being an asshole. All right, any closing statements for this?
No, but
all right, cool. There's my reaction to Jody's Corner. We're talking about Zack Snyder just expose himself on the Joe Rogan podcast. A lot of people do that apparently.